Fox 16 News at 9, covering Conway, Malvern, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
It's a rescue effort unlike anything the world has ever seen. It continues in northern Thailand. The 12 boys remain trapped in the cave. Oxygen levels are dropping and the rain continues to be a major concern for rescuers. Bill Neely reports from northern Thailand.
Rescuers here are worried about falling oxygen levels inside the caves. They're also worried about falling rain, and there has been a cloudburst here. Meanwhile, the parents have written letters saying to the boys that we don't blame you. And one mother has also written to the only adult down there, the coach, saying no parent is mad at you. We have every confidence in you. The rescue commander, meanwhile, is saying that everybody thinks that because we discovered the boys that we've won this war. He says we have not. And he says the rescue operation is like nothing the world has ever seen. Nothing rescuers have ever undertaken before.
The death of a Thai Navy SEAL has just underscored the dangers of launching an immediate emergency rescue. Their scuba training has now finished. Rescue commanders are waiting for the moment when they make the decision to launch that rescue effort. In a crime alert tonight, several cars and a house in Pea Ridge were vandalized using black spray paint this week. A Pea Ridge police sergeant says they thought the vandalism was connected with stolen spray paint cans at a nearby building earlier this week, but those spray paint cans were not black. They say it's crucial people actually report these types of crimes.
A lot of people will take to Facebook and take to the internet and complain and report things, but no one really comes to the police department to tell us about it, and so it kind of hinders our ability to actively investigate on the leads as quick as people would like us to.
Pea Ridge police say increased patrols are in every neighborhood to prevent further vandalism. 2 people were killed when a house exploded in southern New Jersey early this morning. Firefighters started getting calls from neighbors around 6:45 a.m. about a massive blast that rocked the neighborhood in Gloucester County. The explosion reduced the house to rubble. It scattered debris as far as 6 blocks away. The prosecutor's office says foul play is not suspected. There was no immediate word of the cause of that explosion. In tonight's State of the Nation report, the U.S. Department of Justice and the U.S. Education Department say the federal government will no longer encourage schools to use race as a factor in the admissions process. Opponents say the decision is a setback, while supporters say colleges and universities should focus on race-neutral standards. Fox 16's Bree Jackson reports on the mixed reaction.
Supporters say it's time for the college admission process to be race blind.
It's the 21st century. I'm thrilled to see that schools are not being told that they ought to rely on the race of applicants in determining who gets admitted or not.
African-American leadership activist Horace Cooper says the Trump administration rightly rescinded what he calls outdated Obama-era affirmative action guidelines. But Kristen Clark of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights says it's a major setback.
Rolling back this guidance now sends a dangerous message to schools that this administration doesn't value diversity and that they shouldn't either.
The Justice Department's decision does not change current laws on racial discrimination, but it does shift the focus from affirmative action to race-neutral standards. Cooper says there are other ways to promote diversity on campus.
If you really are interested in making sure that the kinds of students come from all walks of life, it means that schools and universities are going to have to do some better recruiting.
But Clark believes race should remain a key part of the equation.
We still need race-conscious admissions policies.
Clark says the government should stay in the business of actively protecting diversity in higher education. In Washington, Bree Jackson, Fox 16 News.
Affirmative action was first used in the U.S. by an executive order signed by President John F. Kennedy in 1961. This prevented employers from discriminating against members of disadvantaged groups in 1967. Gender was added to the anti-discrimination list in 1967. California, Michigan, and Washington passed constitutional amendments banning the consideration of race in public school admissions. Well, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo left North Korea today without announcing any major breakthroughs in the effort to denuclearize Korean Peninsula or return the remains of soldiers killed during the Korean War. Pompeo spent the last 2 days meeting with senior North Korean officials. He did not meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, however. He did say the talks there with officials were productive and that the two sides made a great deal of progression on some issues.
We now have a meeting in Panmunjom set up for July 12th. It could move by 1 day or two, where there will be discussions between the folks responsible for the repatriation of remains will take place at the border.
Pompeo said a Pentagon team will be meeting with North Korean officials at the border sometime next week to discuss the return of the remains. He said working level talks would be held soon on the destruction of North Korea's missile engine testing facility. In a safety alert, medical waste has been spotted washing up on the beach in a popular tourist town of Palm Beach, Florida. Take a look at the video right there. Cleanup crews are finding syringes, IV bags, and pills. They say it's been happening more often in the last 6 months. A group called Friends of Palm Beach go out Monday through Friday looking for that medical waste. They usually find it caught up in seaweed.
You know, it all comes in with the current. None of it's local. It's off cruise ships. It's from other islands. It's really a shame.
The mayor of Palm Beach says she's asking for state and federal regulations to help that. Until help arrives, the group says they'll continue their cleanup efforts there. At Bentonville's Patriotic First Friday, local members of the Boy Scouts of America took part in a special retirement ceremony. The group retired the American flag that has flown over the Walmart home office for 3 decades. Because it's made of nylon, the preferred method of burning it was not the best option.
It teaches them respect. It teaches them about the people who came before them, who fought for the flag, who fought for our country, the blood they shed, and the tears and our freedom.
The Scouts separated the blue star from the stripes, and then the red and white stripes were separated from each other as well, and technically making it into scraps that can be disposed of with respect. Well, coming up after the break, a Memorial Day at a Tennessee Dairy Queen when an unexpected guest shows up to cool off. We'll tell you what that's all about coming up.